Hello everyone and welcome to another project Dad's making. Today, before I start to bake, I thought I'd let you all know that I wrote a book, a science fiction book, and it's available on Amazon and Author House and Barnes & Noble and all of them. So I'll put the links of the book below into the description, and I'd be honored if you guys checked it out. And what are we baking today, are you asking? Well, today we are making a Sicilian whole orange cake. And yes, you've heard correctly, whole orange. What we're gonna need is 3 eggs, 250 grams of sugar, 275 all-purpose flour, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 100 grams of butter. You can add some Greek yogurt. I don't have any here, but that's okay. And roughly 1 large orange. So roughly 300 grams, and you just put it into a blender. But cut it up first and remove some of the seeds. But afterwards in the blender, it's gonna look like this. So let's start. I have my form prepared with, I oiled it. I use this form. You can use a normal spray pan form if you like. And my oven is preheating. So first we will do the sugar. And we need 250 grams. You can use white sugar. I'm gonna use light brown sugar because I thought it'll add a nice little flavor to it. These were 200 grams, so I'll add just a little bit of white sugar for the 50, so that we are at our 250. So, as you can see, oops. Okay, and then we're gonna add our eggs. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're gonna wash our hands quick, just because when you handle eggs, you should wash your hands. If it touches your fingers, we don't want to get salmonella. You can now either use a electrical mixer to beat these eggs with the sugar, or you can just use your elbow grease, like I always say. And it's become a bit of a catchphrase for me, I feel, that I suggest using your elbow grease instead of a hand mixer. As you can see, we're getting a nice, lovely consistency. And some air bubbles as well. And you kind of mix it until it's light and fluffy. And we have some nice bubbles going, so it's light and fluffy. So now let's add our 275 of flour, and I just need to measure that out here. Perfect. And our 2.5 teaspoons, please don't do tablespoons like I first said, that would be too much, but teaspoons of baking powder. So 1, 2.5, that's good. So I have my dry ingredients in here now. I'm just gonna give it a quick stir. If you have a sieve, Let me see if my sieve is washed, then I'll actually do it that way. Yes. If you have a sieve like that, that's fine. Or that is fine, then you can actually sieve through your dry ingredients the way it's meant to be. So I will just place that here, and then we'll start mixing. And then I'll add my 100 grams of softened butter. You can leave your butter out, you know, and let it turn soft if you're using an electrical mixer. If you do use your elbow grease, then I recommend just popping it into microwave for like 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how your microwave is, so that your butter is nice and melted and not just soft. Now, as you can see, we have a nice caramelly consistency here with all our ingredients well integrated with each other. So, and at this point you could add, like I said, 110 grams of Greek yogurt, and once that is done, like I said, put your in a blender, and then we will add this to our mixture. Just kind of spread the love all around the bowl so that we can combine our ingredients that way as well. And let's stir it all in. And make sure to really give it a good stir so everything is incorporated. Well, let's just move the eggs over here. So, perfect. So, and where I'm going to differ from my recipe that I found is with, if I can find it, oh yes, here. I am going to add some cinnamon for a bit of additional flavor. I know it's not in the original recipe, but you know what? Us dads sometimes like to go off the recipe and, you know, make it our own. So plus cinnamon is, you know, autumny. And we are in autumn now. Sorry. I think I breathed in some cinnamon there. So, and now that our mixture is done, I'm going to get my trusty spatula that I need to ensure that everything goes in to our form. We'll just do it like this, and then let it run, and just twist or turn it while it's running into our form. Really make sure that if you're not using baking paper, like I am, that you grease your, or you can, you know, oil it. You can use one of those spray oils to prepare your form. So now, depending on your oven, this will probably take like 45 minutes to bake. And once it's done, we are going to make a lovely syrup to go with it. And for me, that'll take a while. For you, it'll be just a flash. Hello everyone, and welcome to the syrupy part. So what we are going to need, and I'm just going to use this surface for a moment. For our syrup is 100 grams of sugar, and then 1 or 2 of those lovely oranges. If you don't roll them before you cut them, then you could get less juice. So always, and same with lemon and lime, before you juice them, make sure to roll them with a bit of pressure on a surface. Put that back. So let me just grab a knife here. And I will cut the orange. So number 1. So lovely orange. Look at that. And number 2. If you have kids there, don't cut into your hand because you don't want to teach them silliness like that. But if you are alone, then do whatever feels right, of course. So let's juice these babies, huh? We're basically making a lovely sugar syrup with orange to further enhance the flavor of our Sicilian style whole orange cake. So that we have a good bit of syrup. We need a bit more juice, depending on your oranges, of course. If you have super juicy oranges, and I mean these here are fairly juicy, as you can see here, then you may only need 1, but I just like to use a bit more. And I also like the pulp normally, but there are kernels in there and I'm not really sieving right now, so let's get the juice in here. That's great. And then turn this baby on and give it a bit of a power boost so that we are rocking and rolling fairly quickly when it comes to heating. It's probably best to always do these things slowly, but if you are having an eye on it, and I am having an eye on it, then boosting it and speeding up your process a tiny bit is absolutely fine. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I just released my first ever novel, and I am quite nervous because it's been available on Amazon for Kindle for since Monday, so for 3 or 4 days, and the physical versions are available soon too, to be printed. So I am going to turn this down so that it doesn't completely go overboard. So I turned it down to 7. yeah, so I'm really nervous to see if anybody wants to actually read my story. That's not, you know, someone from my friends or family. So if some of you do read my book, then reach out to me and tell me what you think. But be kind, like I said, it's my first ever novel. And yeah, so I had fun writing it, so I hope you guys had fun reading it too. So this here will take a while, so once it's done, we'll be back in a flash. So everyone, now our sugar syrup is done, or our sugar and orange syrup. And now we're gonna just take a spoon and drop it over, as you can see here, and drench our lovely cake in syrup. That way it'll be even more orangey. If you want, you can use a skewer, like if you are not making this version or this form, but if you're making a more traditional shaped cake in a normal spring form, then you could probably use a skewer and put in a good few holes so that the syrup penetrates even further. But I'm okay with just spreading the love all around and making it nice and moist that way, and nice and orangey. And while the sugar was cooking, or the syrup was cooking, I actually had the idea to add some of my mint sugar that I made. You can see here, yummy mint sugar, and just take a handful and go all around it, and just give it another level of flavor. Yes, I know it's sugar, but it will be lovely and minty. So let's just make sure that we have a good bit on there. So great. So this is basically it. This is Project D.A.D's, Steve's, whatever you want to call it, Sicilian orange cake with orange syrup and mint sugar. And I hope you guys have as much fun making it as I have. Comment down below in the comments what you think. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your ongoing support. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications, and you can always click on the link in the description to head on over to my Patreon and support me there, and to keep all of this lovely stuff going. I'm grateful for every euro that comes in. So, thank you for watching. I'm your Steve, and I am out.